Do you all remember that Nvidia leak that happened where it showed so many games in development from pretty much every single publisher? Well, there was apparently even more Xbox game leaks that have surfaced. I want to get into each and every new unannounced game and see what they could be. Let's get into this because there are so many games from Xbox, it's starting to become ridiculous. I mean, we have almost every single Xbox game in development in this leak right here. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for stopping by, checking out the video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to be notified on future content, make sure to hit that small little bell icon. It helps out the channel a lot. Alright, so let's get into these leaks because I have to admit, I didn't expect to see this many unannounced games coming from just Xbox alone. I understand just how many studios they have, I understand how many teams in each studio they have, but once you pull back and look at how many games they have in development, you get a little overwhelmed. And that's exactly what's happening right now as I make this video. I just look at the list of games Xbox is making and I can't help but be impressed. And don't get me wrong, this isn't something to take a jab at Sony or any other publisher or platform. I'm sure they have their fair share of games in development that will get to play this generation. But when you look at Xbox, it's just so many games. And that's exactly what this video is going to be about. We'll get into the secret games that are being leaked and also all the games we know about. So let's get into the first list of games that was posted on social media accounts and all over Reddit and everywhere else. Here's the games that are in development: Psychonauts 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator Console, Age of Empires, Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, The Gunk, As Dusk Falls, Grounded, Deathloop, as you know that's an Xbox game, Redfall, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, Avowed, Perfect Dark. Okay, so we can see these are games we all know about, or they're games that have been announced and released even. Obviously, this is part of the leak because they're still games that belong to Xbox. So I won't go into depth about these, but we know they came out or are coming out. But again, these are part of the leaks because you know what? The leaks grabbed everything that Xbox had, which includes these games that are coming out. So let's jump into the next one. Ghostwire Tokyo Xbox. Obviously another Xbox game, but is a PS5 and PC exclusive. Perfect Dark, Contraband, Project Mara, Fable, Everwild, State of Decay 3, The Outer Worlds 2, Hellblade 2, Elder Scrolls, Indiana Jones, Gears 6, Project Indus, 4-time strategy game by Oxide. Again, games that we know about, yet there's still a couple we don't know about. The first one being Gears 6. This was something that was leaked a few weeks ago, and it's something I even talked about in a previous video. Not to mention, it's Gears 6. So of course they're going to be making another one. It's one of the biggest franchises Xbox has. That's just a given if you ask me. I don't expect to see Gears 6 for some time, maybe in about 4 or 5 years until we see the next Gears game. But then we have Project Indus, which is something we've seen before, yet it's a 4-time strategy game. Now, I know most people don't know what a 4-time strategy game is, but think Civilization and one of my favorites, which is Warhammer 40k Gladius. They're big-time strategy games that take a lot of time to play. I love playing these games no matter what, so I'm personally excited for Xbox and that they're making one of these. And to be honest, I'm a little shocked because it shows just how diverse Xbox is trying to get with their Xbox Game Pass. But now, let's move on to the massive games that we know nothing about. Here's the first list of leaks. Project Cobalt, FPS RPG by inXile. Project Dragon, Diablo-style game by IO Interactive. Project Missouri, RPG game by Obsidian. Unannounced title by Compulsion Games. Unannounced new IP 1 by The Coalition. Source, Jeff Grubb. Unannounced new IP 1 by Double Fine. Okay, so first, inXile is a game we've heard about before. Phil Spencer has even talked about them, and there's been job openings, and you can see this everywhere. It's inXile's next big game, and they've hired multiple people to join this team. Obviously, the influx of money from Xbox is helping this one move along, especially since it's been in the public eye for some time now. So I actually think this game might be announced a little bit sooner than the others, but we'll have to wait and see. After that, we have Project Dragon, which is being made by IO Interactive, the same team behind the Hitman series. This game, again, has been in development, and it's something that's been talked about for what seems like forever. So I'm not surprised to see this game on here at all. The only thing I'm thinking about is the Diablo style type of game it's going to be. That has me excited because I love those types of games. Let's hope this comes true because it could be an awesome game that comes into Game Pass. And again, this helps Xbox with their variety in their games, something that it looks like they're trying to hone in on. Now we get into some of the secret games that we've never heard about before. Project Missouri, which is an RPG game by Obsidian. This is obviously not Avowed, but another game we don't know about. We already know that Obsidian Entertainment is rumored to be working on like 5 or 6 games. So this might be one of those that's in very early development and we don't have a lot of details on them, but we know they're being worked on. From there, we have an unannounced title by Compulsion Games. I think this is one of the sleeping giants that no one is talking about. We know Compulsion Games got a massive influx of developers and funding from Xbox when they were bought. In fact, they also got a new studio to work out of. They were a smaller team, but always got a lot out of their developers. So I expect to see their game in the next year or so because they've been quiet since 2018. Think about that. They've had 3 years to build their studio, get more developers, and hone in on what their game is going to be. So I'm thinking in the next 1.5 to 2 years, we're going to get an announcement and also a release date for what their game is going to be. Then we have a new IP by the Coalition. This to me is a little bit of a surprise, especially since we know that they're working on Gear 6. Yet if you look at how many people are at that studio, you can see they probably have 2 big teams. I mean, they have over 300 people at that studio alone. That means they probably have a huge team on Gears of War and another team on this new IP they want to make. Either way, I believe that the Coalition is one of Xbox's best studios and whatever they bring out will be pretty awesome and I'll be there day one. After that, we have Double Fine's new IP. I think most people felt this was going to happen, especially after Psychonauts 2 was something they wanted to finish. Now, as someone that's played a couple hours of Psychonauts 2, it's a solid, well-made game. So I would love to see what Double Fine can do on a new IP with the funding of Microsoft behind them because they're extremely creative and I want to see what they can do with that creative funding that they're going to get from Xbox. Now, you would think that's the leak, right? That's all of it. Nope, there's so much more. So let's get right into what else is being announced or leaked because it's pretty insane. Unannounced title by id Software, unannounced title by ZeniMax Online Studios, unannounced MOBA game, Source Xbox 2 podcast, unannounced cloud-based MMO, another Xbox 2 podcast source, unannounced cloud-based game, Kojima Productions, and that's from VentureBeat. Alright, first up is id Software. We know they just finished Doom Eternal and all the Ancient Ones DLC from that Doom game. So they're obviously regrouping and working on another title. As you can see, it's not a new IP, which makes me a little sad because I wanted to see what they can do with something new. But to be honest, whatever they make, I'll be there day one because they've become one of my favorite developers around because they've made Doom Eternal one of the best shooters I've ever played, bar none. I've beaten it twice on the Series X and PC, so I'm looking forward to what they have going. After that, we have ZeniMax Online Studios working on a new game. We've talked about this studio before. They have so many studios around the world and are working on massive games like Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, and so on. Not to mention, they've been rumored for a very long time to be working on a new game with a new studio. So don't expect anything from them for a little while, but when it comes, expect it to be a huge online game that relies on a huge community to keep up with it. So let's look forward to that. Next up is a MOBA game, which actually surprises me a lot. I don't know what studio is working on this, but it's weird that Xbox is going after a mobile game when so many studios have walked away from these types of games. Blizzard shut down their game, and Dota 2, Smite, and of course League of Legends kind of dominates that genre type right now. But we shall see what Xbox can make from this, and maybe they could get into that market because I know it's a pretty big one, and people have been starving for a brand new MOBA for a long time. From there, we hear about a cloud-based MMO. I don't have details about this, but it's another online game that we haven't heard about before. Not to mention it's MMO-based, which makes me wonder if this is to compete with Amazon and their new MMO that just released. Either way, as an avid MMO player, I need to see what this is all about and if they can actually sustain such a huge project because MMOs are really hard to nail down. Next up is the Kojima game, which has been in the works for what seems like 6 months now. We all know that Kojima and Xbox have been in talks, and we also know that Death Stranding and Sony haven't done anything together since the game's release. Well, I'm talking about a sequel or something like that. So obviously his studio is up for grabs, and Xbox might be the publisher to pick him up and maybe sign him for a game. But now let's get into the last games. Yes, I know there's more. So let's get into these. Unannounced side-scroller beat 'em up. Unannounced title by Roundhouse Studios, unannounced Minecraft spin-offs. I think these are smaller games, well at least the side-scroller beat 'em up game and the Minecraft spin-offs. And I say that even though I've played Minecraft Dungeons, and it's a pretty massive game with a lot of great content in it, so I actually think people should check that out. But the big studio I see here is Roundhouse Studios, which is a brand new studio that joined Bethesda before Xbox even bought them out. So the studio is made up of ex-Human Head Studios developers. They've been very, very quiet the last couple of years since they've transitioned to Bethesda. I think they've been hiring talent, building a base, and getting a game idea off the ground. So I expect something from them in the next 2 or so years, maybe a little longer, or they might be just helping other studios finish out their games. I feel like they are the compulsion games of Bethesda. They'll be quiet for a while, and they'll be left alone to work on their game until it's ready. So expect a pretty big game from them, and let's hope it's a good one. And there you have it. That's the entire list of games that Xbox is apparently working on, which if you ask me is a little overwhelming, yet so exciting because as a gamer, I'm going to be able to play these games on Game Pass day and date. So yeah, there's talented developers all over Xbox, and with the rumors of them buying even more studios or even more publishers, I think this list is going to grow and grow even more. Throw in the third-party games we've never heard about, or the other first-party teams that are working on even more games. It's going to be insane in the next 3 years to see what Xbox brings out. And like multiple people have said, this is the best time to be an Xbox gamer or just a gamer in general, because we're going to get to play these games on our Xbox, our PC, and no matter where you play it, you're an Xbox gamer because you're on their network and on their platform, and that's all that matters. But enough of what I think about all these leaks. Tell me what you think about these. Are you surprised with the amount of games Xbox is making? Will all these games push the Xbox Series X even more? How many of these are going to be next gen only? Do you think Game Pass will see a huge spike in subscribers because of these games? Are there games we haven't even seen yet? Just how many games is Xbox really working on? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I've been playing a bunch of games. I'm talking about everything. I just bought Kena Bridge of Spirits, so I'm going to be jumping into that. I bought it on the Epic Game Store because that's where I wanted to play it. I didn't really want to play it on my PS5 because I'm moving around a lot. So you know what? I wanted to play it on my PC because I'm probably going to get the best settings there. And it looks kind of cool. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I know it was kind of marketed weird, but I'm looking forward to playing it because it's gotten really great reviews and it looks like a lot of fun and it looks truly next gen. I mean, look at some of these gameplay mechanics. Look at the world. It looks insane. So I'm looking forward to that. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something new like Kena, or are you waiting for Far Cry 6 or something else? Let me know down below because that's what we're here for. It's to talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching. And until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.